Well, the moment you've been waiting for has come. I realize it's been a while since I put out a video. The reason being that I actually procrastinated doing most of the bike. In all my videos, I would do one of however many of those things I needed to make. So the last week has been spent making all the rest of the things. So I didn't want to make a bunch of redundant videos of things I'd already made. It is like 1 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning, race day morning, November 5th, and I just finished putting the bike together. And it looks like junk, but I had $50 and I did what I could, and I think it's going to work. I'm going to win that prize. Here it is. I apologize for the mess. I have been in an extreme hurry, so nothing is clean. But there it is. All of its $50 glory. It actually is super solid and works really well. So I'll take you through some of the things that I did. As you can see on the pontoons, I ended up taking off the shrink wrap on the one that I did because I just knew that it was going to leak. I had this is 6mm plastic for covering furniture and stuff, from paint, whatever. And I had a roll of it from doing some work a long time ago. So I decided to use it instead. And it probably will leak as well, but I just used one giant sheet of it for each pontoon. And as you can see, I kind of folded it up and stapled it like a present. Like that. And anyway, so hopefully it'll shed most of the water down and won't get up in these cracks and the seams and everything. And hopefully the staples don't rip out. Hopefully a lot of things don't happen. And then underneath them, I ended up putting, as you can see, little 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch runners on each side of each pontoon, like that. The reason I did that is because I didn't want the plastic to have a hole ripped in it while I'm working on them and while I'm moving them around and on race day on the beach where there are probably lots of rocks and things. And I did the one video of my of one of these paddles, I mean, and check this out. Oh, it's so perfect. Now let me tell you what I did though. My worst freaking fear and dumbest mistake came to pass. When I put the paddles on, I put every single one of them on the wheel backwards. And it's not just like a little mistake you can fix. You can see that I freaking glued them in there. I screwed them in. Looks like a death trap. And I did all that and I put them all in backwards. I did that last night. Or I noticed I discovered my mistake last night. So I was freaking out because I thought I had to totally start over. But I was able to take apart all of like the sprocket and the center part of the whole wheel, like all this stuff, all of that. I took out the whole center thing, and it's not made to go in backwards the other way, but I was able to get it to work. I switched it all around. It doesn't work as smoothly as it would, out of the factory or whatever if I hadn't messed with it. But it does work, as you can see. So, crisis averted. I'm an idiot and I put them all on backwards, but I was able to fix my mistake. Booyah. So, if you remember the rules, each one of us has to show up at the day of the race with a normal bicycle, with the normal wheels, with all that on there, and then have the pontoons and everything ready. Then at 9 o'clock we can start switching it over and putting all this stuff on. So my design, I tried to make it as quick as possible for me to put everything on. So like down here, I take the front wheel off. These, I can't remember what they're called, U-bolts. They're just through the wood over there. There are two nuts on the other side, like that. Now, I'm going to leave these in here. And so all I have to do is when I take the tire off, I just rest it right on these. And then I tighten the nuts in the back. And all it is a pressure fit. So the angle that these are going in at, into the bolt, when I tighten the nut, it actually pushes, it sucks it in so tight that this front part of the fork here actually digs into the wood at an angle, and so it locks it in place super well actually. I tried pulling it out earlier when I had it tightened, it wouldn't come out at all. So that was an easy solution for that. I do have 4 nuts to tighten, so that'll take some time, but I can just have a ratchet ready and do that really quick. So I'll set those in, and then up top up here, I know that this is the ugliest part of the whole thing, but up here I just cut holes in the end of these 2x4s, and so the handlebars up here where they meet will also just rest in there. So I'll just be able to lift it up and put it on the U-bolts and on these cutouts right here. And to snug those up, I just have these 2 super strong, they're called timber locks. They're my favorite hardware to use. They grab super tight and hold really strong. So I'll just tighten those super tight, and it'll pinch both of these together really, really tight, suck it up, and so it'll lock all that into place. And I'll be able to use this contraption up here to turn the pontoons in the water, hopefully. I haven't tested it, so I'm hoping that that's how it works. And then back here, oh, look at that bamba wood. It's all chipped out and kind of ugly. They both suck. I left my brand on the heater for too long, so it burnt instead of did it. Anyway, now back here, I scratched my head for the longest time of how to get this all to work back here, because I have to pedal the bike, so I had to have all the clearance for that, so I couldn't really attach it to the frame anywhere. So I know from experience that these little racks will hold a human body, because I've done that before several times. And that's with the weight pushing down. The way that I have configured this is just loose in here. See, it just moves. So I put those 2 bolts through here that'll lock it in place so it can't move too much. And when I am actually sitting on it, all the weight of my body will be pushing down on this rack onto the wood, and it really is not going to go anywhere. It's going to have so much pressure on it. So maybe you're wondering, well, how the heck do you even get that in there? Because this is all solid one piece of wood. It's not one piece of wood, but it's all screwed together, glued together, everything. And so all I have to do to put it in, to slide it in, is down here. There's a little screw right here. I have to take that one out and that one out. The whole tray is allowed to just bend up all the way up here to the seat. So it folds all the way up. So I'll take those screws out, fold it up to the seat, slide this in. So slide the wood underneath the rack, and then bend the rack back down and put those screws back in, and make sure that these bolts are in the right little slots. And I'm good to go. Then obviously the paddle wheel is self-explanatory. I just take off the nuts like you would a normal wheel, take the chain off, and then put my paddle wheel in and put everything back, and I'm good to go. So that is my hydro converted water bike for 50 bucks. Tomorrow in about 8 hours, no, today in 8 hours, it's race time. And my brother actually made a freaking sweet trophy for the winner. He welded something together, and I want that trophy. I want the prize, I want the bragging rights. So I'm hoping that my design, all of my work and thinking and everything carries me to victory.
I want to win.